It's a terribly embarrassing condition. That's probably why we don't hear much about urinary incontinence. But it's also a condition that affects over 10 million Americans, many of whom suffer in silence, afraid to tell even their doctors. There are treatments, and as anyone who's had the courage to look into them can tell you, the rewards are well worth it. Dr. Dennis Means shows us how the treatments pay off.
Only half the people who cannot control their bladders report this condition to their physicians. Either they're embarrassed or they have the misconception that nothing can be done about it. Urinary incontinence is most common in women. Part of the reason is that women have a shorter urethra than men, but the most common cause of incontinence is that the bladder tends to drop as tissue support declines, typically after childbirth. That was the case for 43-year-old Neva Stahlbach. At age 30, after the birth of her son, Neva began experiencing sporadic episodes of incontinence.
There had come a point in time, this is really embarrassing, but where I would wake up and I had wet the bed.
Like many women, she accepted the condition, believing adult diapers were her only hope. The problem gradually worsened until she feared incontinence would cost her her job.
Well, I do represent the company a lot at either client sites or prospect visits, you know, where you need to appear to be professional, and it had reached the point that if I coughed, it didn't have to necessarily be a hard cough. I could wet my pants.
Although 45% of senior citizens are affected by urinary incontinence, many young people have it too. 71-year-old Miriam Smith had trouble with her bladder even as a girl.
I can remember even back in high school when I'd giggle, I'd wet my pants, and sneeze, the same problem, and cough, a little cough, and it would just pour out, you know.
Like Neva, Miriam didn't know incontinence could be treated, and she resigned herself to wearing pads during the day.
But at night, I'd have to wear a heavier one because not only did I have to get up 2 or 3 times in the night, but I hardly could make it to the bathroom.
But people with incontinence don't need to resign themselves to a lifetime of padded undergarments and shame. With proper diagnosis, the condition can be improved or even cured. The first step to treating incontinence is to acknowledge the problem. A number of invasive and non-invasive tests, such as ultrasound of the kidneys and bladder, may be used to diagnose the condition and begin treatment. We can do surgery to reposition the bladder and tighten the supporting muscles, but other procedures may correct the problem. Many times, a change in voiding habits can keep incontinence under control. Try drinking fewer fluids and urinating more often. Avoid food and drink that may aggravate bladder control problems such as coffee, colas, and alcohol. Exercises can be done to strengthen the pelvic muscles, leading to better bladder control. Medications are available to improve a patient's ability to store urine. And electrical stimulation of the pelvic floor muscles may improve support of the bladder and urethra. Neva and Miriam chose surgery to correct their incontinence, a decision that has changed both their lives.
It was just amazing not to have to always be worrying if I go to the grocery store, I go to the bathroom just before I leave, and then if it takes me too long, maybe I have to stop, leave the groceries, and go to the bathroom, you know, and go swimming with no worries, right? And it's a whole new life.
I might even actually try dating again now that I don't have this embarrassment.
Don't let advertisers fool you into thinking diapers are your only hope. If you suffer from urinary incontinence, talk to your doctor about treatment. In Jackson, I'm Dr. Dennis Means.
That brings us to the end of another show. We're glad you found time to be with us tonight, and we hope you'll join us again next time for another Second Opinion. Good night.
Broadcast of Second Opinion is made possible by a grant from the Health Vision Foundation for Educational Television. Contributors to the program include Shearing Plow, Key Pharmaceuticals, Pfizer Incorporated, Merck & Company, AstraZeneca, Serono Labs, and Organon Pharmaceuticals.